Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Niharika Jha and I like making small videos on important topics of dermatology. I believe that these videos might be of some help to those students who are currently pursuing their post-graduation in the subject of dermatology. Of late, we have seen that some parents they are opting not to get their kids vaccinated, or because of the COVID time, many kids have missed their vaccination, and because of these two reasons, the number of cases of measles are expected to rise. So, as dermatologists, we should be well versed with the cutaneous manifestations of measles, and that is the topic of discussion for today. So let us learn about measles in short and about their cutaneous manifestations as well. We all know that measles it is a vaccine preventable disease and it is mainly a disease of the childhood. It is caused by a virus which belongs to the Paramyxoviridae family, and this virus it resides in the upper respiratory tract of the infected person. So obviously the source of spread remains droplet infection or fomites. The incubation period is about 7 to 14 days. It is characterized by acute onset of fever. The fever might rise up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a high grade fever. Apart from that, the patient can develop cough, coryza, conjunctivitis, and photophobia. Diarrhea and croup, these are the other manifestations as well. These kids can easily get secondarily infected by bacterial infections, and pneumonia is frequent in these patients. Now, if we talk about the topic proper, that is the cutaneous manifestations, first we will be talking about the complex spots. So, what are these complex spots? So, complex spots are basically the pathognomonic feature of measles and they are seen in the pre-eruptive stage. It is seen in about 60 to 70% 60 to 70% of the measles patients. It is seen in the initial 2 to 3 days after the fever has developed. And where does it develop? It develops on the buccal mucosa. How does it appear? It appears as bluish white spots which has a diameter of about 2 to 3 millimeter and they're present on an erythematous base on the buccal mucosa. The most common site where complex spots can be seen is opposite to the first molar. So if you look at bluish white spot which is present over an erythematous base opposite to the molar on the buccal mucosa. Now, unfortunately, most of the time when the patient they present to us or they present to the pediatricians, the complex spots they have already disappeared because it is seen in the early eruptive phase of the or the prodromal phase of the measles, and as the body starts developing the rash, the complex spots start disappearing. So that is why in most of the patients, we are not able to see the complex spots. But if we see the complex spots, then consider it to be the pathognomonic sign or the pathognomonic feature of measles. Because of this white-colored appearance on a red-colored background, the appearance is compared to grains of salt on a red background. We know that it is a bluish-white color, but from where it is, getting this blue color or this white color. So the bluish color is because of the dilated veins around the submucosal gland duct, while the white portion is because of the destruction of the cells of the glandular epithelium. Apart from the buccal mucosa, it can be seen on the soft palate, the conjunctival fold, vagina, or the intestinal mucosa as well. It does not last for throughout the disease, and it is seen only in the in the prodromal phase for around a period of 2 to 3 days. And as I told you, as the skin rash starts appearing, the complex spots start fading, and eventually it leaves behind a normal-looking mucosa. Differential diagnosis, it can be easily confused with the Fordyce gland after ulcer, and interestingly, it can be also seen in parvovirus infections as well. Let us learn about the second cutaneous manifestation, that is the rash. So typical maculopapular rash develops in patients of measles and it starts in the retroauricular area, that is from behind the ears or along the hairline, and then it spreads in the cephalocaudal direction, that is it spreads from above to downwards in the patients, and then it involves the face, the trunk, and the limbs over the next few days. And interestingly, it also disappears in the similar fashion. So the thing to be remembered is that the rash develops in the retroauricular area or along the hairline, and it proceeds in the cephalocaudal direction. Now, these points are very important because very easily we can confuse measles with exanthematous drug rash. And the site of the onset of the rash and the progression of the rash gives us a hint whether the rash is viral in nature, whether it is a viral exanthem or it is an exanthematic drug rash. Now, the infective period of the patient is basically 4 days before the appearance of the rash till 4 days after the appearance of the rash, and gradually it disappears, and it can leave behind a mild hyperpigmentation on the patient. So this is how the macular papular rash of a patient of measles looked like. Because of the vaccination, patients now are developing atypical or modified presentation of the disease, either because of the vaccine or because they are previously vaccinated or because of the wild type of the virus, and they develop something which is known as atypical measles syndrome. So in these patients, what is different from the normal cutaneous manifestations of measles? So first, talking about the Koplik spots, might be these patients, they do not have Koplik spots and they are totally absent, or they might be present at other sites except for the normal buccal mucosa, the sites such as the palate or the conjunctiva or the vaginal mucosa, as I've already talked about it. And the rash can be urticarial, purpuric, or even vesicular instead of the normal maculopapular rash. And instead of starting from the retroauricular area, it can start from palms and soles. So the site of the onset can be different, and the appearance of the rash can be different. Instead of starting from the retroauricular area, it can start from the palms and soles. And instead of the normal maculopapular rash, it can be either urticarial, purpuric, or even vesicular in nature. So these are the two important cutaneous manifestations of measles. The things to be remembered in a patient of measles are, first of all, the general features: high-grade fever up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, which is usually acute in nature. And apart from the fever, the patient can develop cough, coryza, photophobia, conjunctivitis. The cutaneous manifestation includes two important things: the Koplik spots and the maculopapular rash. So I hope you found this particular video to be of help.